So this is just on the fly.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Yep.
All right. So Jake, this is a one you sent me. It's called Into the Storm, Free Range Bison with a Bow from Haxen Hunt. When was this shot?
We redid that January 2022. So about a little over a year ago.
Okay. All right. So this was a pretty cool one to watch. This was one of those, I would consider it a cinematic one. Like it was close to cinematic with how it was shot to me personally. But would you consider more on the professional
there was
side?
two of us that filmed that. So that's why we have so much dynamic on shots.
Yeah.
So it's definitely cinematic.
Okay. So walk us through this intro here. Once we'll play it out. When should I stop it? What do you think the intro should? You tell me when to stop it.
It was before that. So it's only within the first couple, 2 or 3, like the first minute probably.
Okay. All right. So we'll play it out because I don't think Tyler has seen this. So we'll play it out here.
Bison, Utah free range bison, once in a lifetime tag. I don't really know how to feel or what to think about right now. It's like,
is the sound playing for you guys over top?
It is.
And
can you hear it?
Yep. Wake up Christmas morning or sleep Christmas Eve night. That's about how my night went. So freaking excited. The guides over the last few months have.
So pause that right there.
That bison or not.
Where's the mouse?
Roaming hills bison.
So I don't know if you noticed right away, like we talked about in the last podcast, or however you're going to break this up.
Yep.
Did you notice it was a wide, a tight, and a medium?
Yep. And when you said that on part 1, I automatically thought of this episode because of how you described it.
Yeah. So it was wide, setting the scene, starting the day out, because that's what he was talking about.
Right.
Getting ready on the buffalo hunt.
Yep.
Set it, and then you have to set the scene on your leaving.
Yeah.
It was wide, and then tight onto him getting his boots on, grabbing his gear, and then back to tight. And now it's back to a wide angle of setting the next scene, which would be driving to the destination.
Okay. All right. So that was only like 30 seconds for that intro.
Yeah.
And that's what you kind of look for, like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, within 20 to 30 seconds. You're setting the scene, bang, 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 and then you continue on from there.
Okay. All right.
Mountain goats that weigh 3,000 pounds. This time of year, where we're at right now is 32 degrees, but up on Mount Helen at 11,000 feet, it's probably negative 10, 15 right now. The bison could be high, could be low. They're not afraid of the snow. We just had a huge snowstorm. But we'll see what it really brings.
At Vistaprint, we can get your brand into your customers' hands.
So
the old YouTube commercials got you.
Yeah. So with that right there, like what we just watched with the trucks, was that kind of like what you're talking about, where you drive by it, but he didn't drive by it. It was just a video of the trucks. Then he went and he got something out of the back. You had the background, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so that was still basically setting up the feel and the setting of the video. So it's just still setting the scene, and it's in different formats. So
Okay.
like the trucks driving by,
Yeah.
the whole feel of that first minute of video, it's making you feel like you're there.
Yeah. And that's what does make
What's
you feel.
going on? It's trying to set that precedence of it's cold, we're driving deep.
Yeah.
There's two vehicles. We got to get back here. You notice it's a rough road. There's snow.
Yep.
And there's mountains. This is what's about to happen.
Yeah. And that's I love that. It made you feel like you were there. Put it that way.
Or
Now
their
we'll
heads.
listen to commercials.
Or their backs. Or hands. Hands are good.
And the background music to it is what I like too. It makes you wonder.
Yep.
I need a little bit of leniency, okay? It's been daylight for like 15 minutes. Yeah, we spotted some bison, so we're gonna get up on this peak over here and glass up in there.
Notice how there's
Eyes on some.
slight movement in almost every shot.
Yeah. So it's not still the whole time.
It's gotta go right through the heart of a buffalo.
We seen that buffalo right here last night.
That's beautiful.
And then basically here is when you start getting into the hunt.
Start getting the hunt right there.
Now a minute and a half to 2 minutes in, now it's into basically it's just cuts.
Yep.
It's nothing crazy, what's going it's you're not getting crazy creative with it. So the first minute and a half of that video is like there's basically more editing work in it.
Okay.
And then after that, it's kind of just meshing it together and letting it flow
Okay.
the way that it kind of plays out.
And where would you say the climax is for this?
The climax would be right. Just keep going. So there's actually two climaxes in it.
Okay.
It was one whenever in the very back farther, whenever he shoots at a buffalo and he misses. So it's kind of like there's a low point. So
Yeah.
I would say that. And then later on when we find more, so probably minute 10, 11, when he shoots at the next one.
Okay.
I would go farther ahead because this is just storytelling, kind of what's going on. And then right here is where we find buffalo.
A killer. Got a wash right here. We're gonna get up to the top of this pinnacle, see if we can get eyes back on those bison.
So now it's just into the nitty gritties of building up the anticipation
This is legal
Yeah.
in Utah.
of what's happening. And then that's pretty much the pinnacle moments right there.
And how?
GoDaddy Arrow helps you get your business
Got you with it.
Dang it. With the perfect name.
Oh, nice.
So how far away are you taking this shot? That shot right there?
No, so he took that on his own.
Okay.
That shot was shot through. So the guy that stayed behind us through the spotting scope actually filmed that with his cell phone.
Okay. All
Phone
right.
scope.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep. This is shot, and then he progresses on his own because he felt like you couldn't get two people close enough.
Right. The snow coming off of his back.
25. Oh my gosh. I was right there. I turned, she spooked, I drew.
And then it just goes through the story and
The whole story.
yeah.
The one
Basically.
thing that I was so impressed with was the ending of it that I want to show people. Where is it at? Right here?
Either the arrow backed out or I didn't get very good.
Like the fact that you guys tracked him for this long. And
Yeah.
you just kept tracking and tracking and tracking. How many miles was that?
He went, I want to say he went 7 miles after first getting shot.
Okay.
So the first shot wasn't the greatest shot.
Yeah.
We don't know if it would have been lethal or not, but I mean, Braxton did his due diligence, and as a hunter, has snow and just kept going to no quit.
Yeah.
This is showing basically the buffalo went down a place that it wasn't familiar with, went and got stuck in that drainage and was on the way out when Braxton met head to head with them and finished him off.
Wow.
All with a bow, and that's kind of why it showed that angle right there is what he's seen whenever he shot at that buffalo again.
Yeah.
Like he was tracking it, and that's what he's seen. He's seen the buffalo turned at him, a wounded giant 1,000-pound animal.
Yeah.
Looking at 10 yards face to face.
Man,
that's why the emotion of it, just because it kind of let out after that. And that's kind of what went good into the storytelling of it. There could have been multiple different ways to portray it, but I felt like that was a pretty good way to showcase the realism.
And that's what led me to that question of like, what's more important, the kill shot or the walk up pure emotion type thing? Because to me, like, yeah, you saw him pull back the bow, you didn't see him hit the buffalo or the bison, but then you see this, and it's like that pure emotion, that pure like that just falls over him with emotion. That to me was like, but then you also had everything else in between it, where it was like, okay, it kept you hooked into it, but then you had that pure emotion at the end.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to have, if you don't have the kill shot, you got to have the story.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
We had the story, so that didn't have to have the actual final ending of the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because ultimately he finished it off when we weren't there. We couldn't keep up with him.
Right.
The ethics of him killing, getting the final arrow into it. He's like, I know we can't get this on film. I'm going to go ahead push as much as he possibly can as the hunter.
Yep.
And he did the correct thing in terms of what any hunter would do.
Yeah.
And continue on, and the story kind of told itself.
Is there anything else in that video that I should show the listeners while we have it up?
No. The only other thing would be at the very end.
Okay.
I would say I'd skip ahead, keep going to the point where we get really cinematic. So then it's just the creative side of things. So like right here, it just gets like, you can get pretty creative with it.
Okay. Probably commercial.
Sell to your customers
in terms of
anywhere
just
with Shopify, the commerce platform designed
the
for
type of
entrepreneurs.
shots.
Yeah, the type of shots you can get.
So you can just,
Last
this
day,
is
huh?
where, as a film guy,
What's
You
up with
can
the last
just-
day magic?
play around and see what works.
Just mix them together pretty much.
So all these shots, different frame rates, angles, basically finalizing the story.
Yeah. That's a cool one right there. With the light coming down.
Very cool.
Yeah. Man, look at that. Yellow. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty odd, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, that's
Ending with
Very
a
cool.
fire
I mean,
right there. That's
so
that's
that's what, and that shot right there, it shows that we had to work into the night to. That's how long this buffalo took to, quarter it up.
yeah.
And get it and get it back into the bags to
Right.
walk it out of there. Like, it took a while to take care of this thing.
For sure. Yeah, I mean that's a huge animal to take down. Like that was you sent me other ones too. I'm just not a fan of turkey. Like turkey, I feel like
Yeah.
a turkey one is like it's like
They're-
hard to build a story and
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
but
That's
the s-
because they're an animal that's taken a lot, and,
Yeah.
and there's so many that's killed
Yep.
over.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, but
the nature of it.
the Buffalo one, I was like, this one has to be talked about on the podcast because this was pretty.
That's very cool.
That was epic. Like, I'll send you the link because I want you to watch the whole thing
Yeah.
because you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Like, watching the whole thing. But and that was one I feel like is professionally done one that you do obviously, and I think self filmers you can do it as self filming. Like there's ways you can do that.
Yeah,
It's just gonna take more time, take more editing, all that kind of stuff. So we have some listener questions. So
yeah.
quick editing. So this one's from Bird Dogs and Barbells. Quick editing tips for newbies. So I'm guessing he wants, editing tips that you can do quickly is what I'm taking from that.
Workflow management. So I would say to have your organization down on knowing where all your clips are at.
Yeah.
So what's going to save you a lot of time is chronological order.
Yeah.
Knowing when something happened and being able to go back and find it quickly.
Gotcha.
That workflow is going to save you hours.
Yeah, I can attest to that because that does help because like the camcorder records in a certain numbers, so you can match it up then very quickly with that kind of stuff. But I'm doing a very simple kind of edit with a podcast video. It's nothing like a hunting video, nothing like that.
Yeah.
This is from SK Leather Studio. Ways to film solo, what angles for best screen viewing, but also capturing hunt.
What's the first part of that?
It says ways to film solo, what angles for best screen viewing.
So I personally like the GoPro as the secondary, the secondary angle. It's not your primary. Your primary solo self-filming.
Yeah.
You still need a main body camera.
Yeah.
To capture those moments or the tighter B-roll stuff.
Right.
But the nitty-gritty of this, the fail-proof is that GoPro overseeing your shot angles on bow hunting.
Yes.
That's kind of the fail-proof.
Yeah, wide angle, that's what I do with the GoPro. Wide angle the whole time.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Same.
It's from Chris PWC. Do you start filming when you get to the stand, or is it right before a shot?
It's the time you wake up in the day.
Yeah.
You start filming as soon as you start getting ready.
Yep. Have that camera right beside you for when that alarm clock goes off, so when you can get that alarm clock in the video too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good shot.
That's an overplayed one.
I know. It's a very overplayed.
And the famous hand.
Yeah. Who uses
Boom.
that kind of alarm anymore?
No one.
No one uses that alarm anymore.
I don't have one.
I don't either. This is from Jay Hendricks. He has two questions. Would you pass up on a shot if you couldn't get him on film? So if he's a 200-inch buck, would you pass up a film shot for an actual shot?
And for 200-incher, 100%.
Okay. Well, okay.
But
so what'd you cut off?
There's a threshold. I mean, that's a personal thing where I passed up a deer 2 years ago, 145 to 150 inch 12 point,
right,
at 10 yards because I didn't have camera light, and my buddy was halfway up the tree, holding on to the tree, with it because we were late.
Yeah,
we were just flat and simple. We were late getting into the tree. That was our fault. We passed.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the only cutoff would be like, would you say 180? Would you?
165.
Oh, 165? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think I do for 110.
Yeah.
I think
but that's a personal
right.
thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To each his
absolutely.
own, man.
Absolutely. Like half rack, 80-incher.
Get it.
Yeah. All right. This is from Jay Hendricks again. What do you use for your editing? So what editing program do you use?
So I used to use Adobe.
Okay.
Now I use DaVinci Resolve.
That's what Tim Palmer got me hooked on.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I do for all my films now.
So I showed Tim DaVinci.
Yep.
Not too. I don't know. Maybe a year ago now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
and he was like, dude, this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's easy to use.
Yeah, it's kind of like Adobe, like, isn't it? It's very similar to it. Yep.
But I just think the user interface is
more friendly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
I agree. And I use iMovie for certain stuff. I use iMovie because I have a Mac, so I just do that quick. If I do have quick turnaround type stuff, I do that. But for more serious stuff, when I want to add more detail into it, I do the DaVinci stuff.
Yeah.
So it's whatever you can afford and whatever you want to do. DaVinci is free, so anyone can afford it.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Best way to not. What the heck was that? My phone is being weird. Best way to not get tired of carrying everything on every hunt.
There is none.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, it comes down to like, do you want it bad enough?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you're just, in my opinion, it's harsh to say you're just a quitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
Whatever.
I think it has to do with the packability too. Like, depends what you're carrying. Like, you have to make things pack the way that you're going to hunt. So, like, if you're going in with a saddle, make sure you have. If you use 4 sticks, make sure you're able to attach it on the outside of the bag. If you're able to wear your saddle in, that's going to cut down on a lot of things you carry in. And then make sure you have everything so it's packable when you go in. Like, it might be heavy, but if you have it with the right pack, the right carrying capacity type thing, it won't feel as bad.
Well, and if it's heavy, I mean, do something, work out to make it not heavy. Like it comes down to like you can make excuses for everything there is in the world.
Yep.
But just knuckle down, and if that's what you want to do, then figure out how to get it done.
Everyone's worried about ounces. Maybe leave some of those snack cakes at home.
Yeah.
No.
Me, I mean, I'm a type of guy, I'm not worried about like the ounces.
Yeah.
If it hurts my shoulders or something, like I literally will figure out how to make it not hurt my shoulders.
Yep.
Because by putting some pad or work out my traps or or do something that's going to help you out. Like don't just it hurts, I'm not doing it anymore.
If you're having lower back pain, do some deadlifts. You know, like do things that contradict each other. So like if you do deadlifts, do some squats and then also do some bench. So like you're working the front and the back side of your workout regimen so that you can work both muscles so you're not uneven on the back or uneven on the front. Like, it's just if you do biceps, triceps.
It's the better everyday concept, right?
Yep.
Like just do something. If you're lacking in something, try to do something to better it.
Yep. And don't worry about the ounces. Just carry what you can afford, carry what you can do. Yeah. If you can only afford the muddy arm at this time, use the muddy arm and make the best of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I still use the muddy arm sometimes.
Yeah?
It sucks, but I mean, it's very sturdy.
It is. It is.
Extremely sturdy.
Yeah.
Heavy as hell.
Yeah. The base, oh, God, I hate the base. Like, the arm isn't bad. But then you add the base on there. It's like
that big L bracket does not go on my pack any way, shape, or form.
Oh, you have the L bracket. You have like the
old school.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I have the just the muddy camera arm, like the one that's not that one. That don't they call that one the?
It's a stiff arm, I think.
Yeah.
Is it the stiff arm or something like that?
The outfitter.
That's it. That's it. It's the outfitter.
The outfitter arm.
Outfitter arm.
Man, I would have quit like the first time I carried that thing in. If I were that one, I was like, man, this is done. I'm done with this.
Used to, dude, when I first started, it was 25-pound Summit, backpack with all my gear, all my food for a whole day, camera arm strapped to the side, 6 trail cameras packed on that. Like, I hate it. I'm like, what was I thinking in my head? Like,
but then walking up on Jake in the woods strapped with all his stuff. Like, where are you going, dude?
Are you going scouting or hunting?
But then, like, I specifically remember the first time, like, self-filming and getting a big deer to walk by me and capturing it on film.
Yeah.
I instantly, like, was like, I'm never complaining again because that was so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't care.
Wow.
I just,
Yeah.
it just the reward was way more worth than the effort and the suck that went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love that. So that was from Justin Enick, ENCK. This is from Hunting with a Passion. Shotgun mic or wireless lapel mic? You kind of already answered that. You would go shotgun mic because of just in case it's not charged up.
Yeah.
Right. So he asked the same question twice. Right. Well, that was the last question then.
Gotcha.
That was the last one. Do you have anything else, Tyler?
No.
All right. Jake, do you have anything else that listeners should know that we didn't cover in the podcast at all about self-filming?
Fail continuously because you'll eventually learn.
Love that.
Nice.
I like that.
So I use the analogy, and it's because I was a baseball player, and that was my career.
Yeah.
Before this was as a good hitter, you would fail 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So failing it makes you more adverse to seeing the success.
Mm-hmm.
So keep going and keep trying. You'll eventually get it.
Yeah, I was not good at baseball. That's why I didn't play. But I like to think I'd be good at it if I played it now.
Yeah.
But Jake, thank you for coming on the podcast again. Thanks for dealing with us. And thanks for telling us all this information about self-filming and filming in general, because you opened my mind to a lot of things. And I think this season's going to be pretty fun.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate it. It was a blast.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
A lot of good info, Jake. We appreciate you as always, buddy.
Man. And thanks everyone for watching and for listening. Remember to keep hunting, keep fishing, keep your tradition, and always enjoy the freaking process.
Enjoy the freaking process.
Boom. All right, let me pause this. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is.
Dude, this